Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Arizona.
It's a weekend at home with the Diamondbacks. Hot outside, the AC here inside Chase Field. Nice and cozy as we open a 3-game division series against the team right behind the D-backs in the NL West. The San Diego Padres are in here with their new manager, former ASU boss Pat Murphy. Then tonight for the first of 3 against the Diamondbacks here on Fox Sports Arizona. And a look at the National League West. There you see the Diamondbacks only 2 below 500, 32 and 34. And the Padres come in 3 under 500, only a half game behind in 4th in the division. And good evening from Chase Field. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthune, Bob Brenly along the way. First of 3, the Diamondbacks and the Padres in some very interesting pitching matchups for you here in this series. The Diamondbacks offense, which leads the National League in runs scored, Bob, going to be tested here over the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, the Padres have always been about pitching in the recent past, and this year's no exception. The numbers may not be exactly what you expect from the San Diego Padres rotation, but James Shields tonight, followed by Tyson Ross and Andrew Cashner. That's 3 of the best arms in the National League going up against Ruby De La Rosa, Robbie Ray, and Jeremy Hellickson.
Well, Ruby De La Rosa on the mound tonight. The last time we saw Ruby, he was outstanding last weekend at San Francisco. Had the double play ball, working the strikeout pitch as well.
Yeah, had a lot of traffic on the bases, giving up 8 hits in the 8 innings of work, but had 4 double plays behind him while he was on the mound. And the first start this year, he was not allowed to shake off his catcher, Wellington Castillo. We'll see if that's the same policy here tonight against the Padres.
Diamondbacks have seen James Shields in this ballpark earlier this year. Last time he was here, May 8th, they hit 4 home runs off Big Game James.
And Big Game James still got the win in that ball game, but it was nice to see the D-backs muscling up against James Shields. He's given up a boatload of home runs this year. Hopefully some more tonight.
Well, it seems like the Padres were still wearing brown and gold the last time Bud Black was not their manager, but they come in here tonight with a new skipper, the new Padre, the old Sun Devil. The latest on Pat Murphy when we come back. And then it's first pitch, the D-backs or the Padres on Fox Sports Arizona. Brought to you in part by Cox Gigablast. How will you live the gig life? By Lone Butte Casino. You're in for more winning moments at Lone Butte Casino. And by Jack in the Box. Taste the new black pepper cheeseburger today, only at Jack in the Box.
And welcome back. A warm night outside here in the state of Arizona, but inside Chase, of course, it is cool and comfortable, getting you ready for a 3-game weekend series against the San Diego Padres here at Chase. Jody Jackson with you just outside the Diamondbacks dugout. Now over in the other dugout today, a familiar face, a friendly face, but he is the opponent tonight. He is Pat Murphy. Local media all gathering to talk to the Padres' new manager. It's only his 4th day on the job, and technically he is the interim manager, and it's hard not to root for the man because here in town he was always accessible and frankly always quite entertaining, very successful as a collegiate head coach, as you can see by the numbers. Pac-10 Coach of the Year 4 times, and then after Pat says he was crushed, of course leaving ASU and the circumstances there, but he had to get up off the mat, and what he did was go ahead and sign on with the Padres AAA affiliate the last 3 seasons, and now he gets the chance for the head job. 4 years Tuffy Gozowicz, Diamondbacks catcher, played under Murph at ASU. Here's what he had to say about his former coach.
I was just really excited for him. I know everything he's been through in the last 5 years, and I just really enjoyed playing for him, and I know all he wants to do is win. So, a lot of people don't understand some of the things he does, but, he's just trying to do everything he can to win.
Well, in order to win tonight, Padres pitching will have to stop Paul Goldschmidt. With 3 of his 19 home runs this season against San Diego, we leave you with Who's Your Padre? First pitch coming up next. Steve Berthium and Bob Brenly have the call here on Fox Sports Arizona.
Ruby De La Rosa is set to open up this 3-game series against the San Diego Padres, who even with all their new players brought in this year, still 4th from the bottom in hitting in the National League, batting .243 as a team, a full 20 points below the Diamondbacks, who are 3rd in the league in hitting, behind only the Giants and the Rockies. Former Sun Devil manager Pat Murphy has taken over in San Diego. And on the mound for the Diamondbacks, Ruby De La Rosa, outstanding Sunday at San Fran. He's lost just once in his last 8 starts. His catcher tonight is Wellington Castillo.
Just attacking the strike zone. I think that's my mentality with every guy that I catch. Just attack the strike zone with his previous pitch, like his fastball, and we're gonna work for them. You know, pitching inside to everybody, in and out. We're moving his fastball, and his changeup will play to it.
Well, the numbers on Ruby with the Diamondbacks compared to last season when he was with Boston. He's allowing fewer hits and walks, and he's striking out 2 more batters for every 9 innings pitched. On Hervé Solarte pops the first pitch of the ball game up to shallow right center. Tomas and Pollock collide. Who's got it? It's Yasmani. Thanks for playing. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Yeah, you like the efficiency right there. The center fielder generally has the priority on these fly balls, but you could see Tomas was calling it all the way in there. At the very end, they come together. Fortunately, the ball stays in the glove. Here, you can throw it back. I'll catch it. You throw it back.
Well, it worked out in the end. Yonder Alonso now. Shift is on for the Diamondbacks. 3 defenders on the right side of the infield for Alonso, who is the Padres' leading hitter at .317 on the year. Right back up the box. Duck and cover for Ruby on the mound. Alonso has a 1-out single. The lineup for Pat Murphy's. That sounds strange. San Diego Padres. Bud Black was there for so long.
Sure does. Solarte at third base. Alonso at first base. Justin Upton out in left field with Matt Kemp in right. Derek Norris doing the catching. Will Venable getting a lot more playing time now out in center field. Corey Spangenberg at second base. Alexi Amarista at shortstop, and right-hander James Shields on the mound.
Yeah, you mentioned Will Venable. The Padres without center fielder Will Myers, who's expected to miss at least 2 months after surgery to remove a bone spur in his left wrist. That has bothered him throughout the season, and now he'll be out most of the summer. Justin Upton. Yes, he went. Then screw Chief John Hirschbeck down there at first. Upton batting .275 and leading the Padres with 13 homers and 42 RBIs. That's in there for a strike.
Now, when you play every day like Justin Upton does, over the course of a season, all that pine tar that you put on your batting gloves to get a better grip eventually makes a layer down near your hands. And at some point, you've got to scrape off that excess pine tar and just use the bat rack to do it.
Coming up and in on the 0-2 pitch.
These guys are so particular about their bats. I mean, just a millimeter layer of pine tar on the handle of that bat just causes it to feel differently in their hands. So Justin Upton with a little manicure job there in the dugout before taking his at bat.
There's a lot of gunk on there. 1-2. Well, Upton slumping a bit these days. He's had only 1 extra base hit in his last 24 games.
He's always been a streaky hitter. You know, he'll hit 7 home runs in a week and then not hit another one for the rest of the month. But boy, if you catch him in one of those hot streaks, he is tough to get out.
Double play ball here. Ahmed, Aaron Hill, and Goldie. Nope, Upton beats it out. And Alonso and Aaron Hill collide at second.
Right fielder, number 27, Matt Kemp.
Alonso going in clean hard right at the base. And relay to first, and we know Upton runs extremely well, able to leg that one out as Alonso made it difficult for Aaron Hill to turn that double play.
Yeah, Upton has had a great year on the bases. He is a perfect 14 for 14 in his stolen base attempts to lead the Padres. And here's Matt Kemp. 250 in his first season in San Diego. A disappointing start at the plate this year, but he's heating up a bit lately. That ground ball that Upton hit a little too slowly for Ahmed and Aaron Hill to turn two, but if they had, it would have fit what we saw from Ruby last week, which was 4 double plays balls behind him in San Francisco. That was a big part of his game.
Yeah, as we mentioned in the open, he had a lot of traffic on the bases, gave up 8 hits, walked a couple of guys in his 8 innings of work, but when he needed it the most, he was able to get that ground ball double play. Kemp has been a D-backs killer throughout his career, both as a member of the Dodgers and not so much this year as a member of the Padres, but a .300 lifetime hitter against Arizona.
No balls and a strike. Upton holds it first. Kemp fouls it back, and it's 0-2. Under Alonso coming in on Aaron Hill.
Yeah, good clean slide, and watch how high Alonso is when he goes into his slide. His legs hit the ground, but his upper body is still up in the air, giving that middle infielder something else to think about when that helmet is coming in there about mid-thigh.
Two just misses at 97. James Hoy behind the plate didn't bite that time, and it's a ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, well, he makes it look a little better than it really was right there. Had his glove moving back toward the plate as he made the catch.
He seems to have done a very nice job back there, Wellington Castillo. There goes Upton. He got a big-time jump, but it's strike 3 as Hoy rings up Kemp, and that's the end of the inning. Good start for Ruby De La Rosa. Punches out Matt Kemp, and we are underway at Chase Field. The Diamondbacks and the Padres on Fox Sports Arizona. And the Arizona Diamondbacks, and they'll take their first crack here tonight at 33-year-old right-hander James Shields, who faced the D-backs here at Chase Field back on May the 8th and gave up 4 home runs. Here's hitting coach Turner Ward.
Well, last time, he made some mistakes and we capitalized on them. And I think off any good pitcher, that's what we're going to have to do. I mean, he's a quality pitcher who's got all the pitches, fastball, slider, curveball, changeup, and he knows how to use those pitches and capable of throwing those pitches in any counts.
A.J. Pollock leads it off. Drives it to left. Upton backing up, and that ball's off the base of the wall. And It's in the seats. No, it's stuck in the wall, pardon me. He found a seam. Well, you're always trying to look for a seam in the defense.
There you go.
There it is. It never did come off the wall.
Man, was that ball hit hard. Upton goes back to the wall, and you can clearly see it just sticks in between the pads out there right at the 376 mark. Boy, just a little lift on that ball. And AJ has a leadoff homer.
I was watching AJ rounding first. He seemed to kind of stop and look a bit confused, and now it's easy to see why the ball disappeared.
Yeah, and I assume you play that just like you play the Ivy at Wrigley Field. You just throw your hands in the air. It's killed. It's a ground rule double, but if you go after it, it's in play. So Upton did the right thing.
So the leadoff man in scoring position. That's the 14th double of the year for A.J. Pollock. And here's Jake Lamb in the 2-hole tonight. 1-1. Jake at .316 with a homer. Sat out the last 2 games of the Angels series against a pair of lefties, Hector Santiago and C.J. Wilson. Back in there tonight against the right-hander James Shields. It's almost as if the baseball had some Velcro on it.
That has to hit just perfectly to stay stuck in there.
500 more tries before it happened again.
Oh, at least.
2-1 to Lamb. That one kicks away from Derek Norris, and AJ moves into third.
Fourth wild pitch of the season for James Shields. Norris just didn't shift his weight, just tried to reach out there with the glove hand and pick that ball out of the dirt. Climbs up his left arm all the way into the on-deck circle to allow AJ to get to third base.
Numbers on James Shields. He's unbeaten with the Padres, already halfway to his win total from last season with the Royals. Clayton Kershaw and Max Scherzer, the only National League pitchers with more strikeouts this year than James Shields. And he strikes out Jake Lamb for the first out in the bottom of the first. Line up for Chip Hale's Arizona Diamondbacks.
We've seen A.J. Pollock at the top, led it off with that double to left field. Jake Lamb just went down on strikes. That'll be center field and third base. Paul Goldschmidt at first. David Peralta in left field. Yasmani Tomas out in right. Aaron Hill at second base tonight. Wellington Castillo doing the catching. Nick Ahmed at short. And Ruby De La Rosa, the right-hander, on the mound.
Paul Goldschmidt. Drives that one into the seats, foul.
Mentioned Shields gave up 4 last time he faced the Diamondbacks. Goldie with a tape measure blast to left field against the Padres right-hander. That almost went out to Lolo's.
He and David Peralta went back-to-back in that game, and Peralta's on deck. 357, that leads the major leagues. Go to third. Don't often see that from the pitcher.
I wonder why you don't see that more often. I know the Cardinals for a while had their third baseman position right on the bag, just like a first baseman holding on a runner when they had a right-handed pitcher on the mound.
You would assume that a lot of runners at third might get a little lazy or careless from time to time, maybe focus more on the catcher throwing down there than the pitcher. You see catchers do that a lot, not very often pitchers. Saw a lot of it in the Angels series, in fact. That one's in the dirt, 2 balls and a strike. Eric Norris has done a terrific job controlling base runners so far as a Padre. Among the best in the business back there.
He's thrown out 21 guys attempting to steal this year, which means a couple things. He's doing a really nice job, and a lot of teams are trying to run on the Padres.
So Goldie hesitate just a bit on that one and missed it. It's 2-2.
Turner Ward mentioned that he has a full arsenal of pitches. He actually throws 3 different fastballs, a cutter, a sinker, and a 4-seamer. Curveball is probably his best out pitch, along with the straight changeup. The slider he will incorporate from time to time, but when he's on top of his game, he can get by with a fastball, curveball, changeup combination.
Goldie reaches down and rolls the 2-2 pitch to Spangenberg at second. A.J. scores, and there's the RBI for Goldschmidt. It's 1-0 Diamondbacks. 55 RBIs now for Goldie.
I wanted to say it, but I didn't want to jinx it. That's as close as a gimme RBI as there is in a game of baseball. You're playing the infield bag, outfield bag, runner at third base, less than 2 outs, and Paul Goldschmidt at the plate. All he's got to do is hit a ground ball anywhere in the infield, a fly ball anywhere in the outfield, or a base hit, and he's going to get that runner home from third. This time just an easy grounder to second to put the D-backs on the board.
So a run in, 2 outs, nobody on for Peralta, and the shift is on for the Padres. Big swing and a miss that time. It's 0-1. And we want to welcome Turner Ward back to the fold here. Good to have him back with us at Chase Field. Here's Turner, who had to return home for a while to attend to some family matters, and it's good to have him back.
For James Shields, that's only the 4th first-inning run he's allowed all season long. Normally, he's a guy that comes out of that dugout ready to fire.
And Peralta homered off Shields here at Chase Field last month. 1-2.
You saw how intently Goldie was staring out at the mound watching James Shields. Good hitters will watch pitchers and see if they give away anything. Is his windup a little bit quicker on the fastball, a little slower on the breaking ball? Does he nod his head more emphatically on one pitch over the other? You're trying to find any kind of an edge to give you an indication of what pitch might be on the way. Right there next to Turner Ward. Watches the pitch.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Ball 4. Peralta draws a walk. That brings up Yasmani Tomas. Take a look at the Padres defensively tonight around James Shields.
Have an outfield of Upton in left, Venable in center, Kemp over in right field. The left side of the infield will be Solarte and Amarista. On the right side, Spangenberg and Alonso. Derek Norris doing the catching for right-hander James Shields.
Yasmani Tomas, 326 and 3 homers. Tomas has got 25 RBIs in exactly 50 games with the Diamondbacks, so he really has become the run producer, Bob, they've needed in the middle of this lineup.
Yeah, we were bemoaning the fact that there was nobody to hit in that 4-hole behind Goldie. Tonight, Tomas hitting 5th with David Peralta wedged in between the 2 right-handed hitters, but Yasmani Tomas has been the guy to pick up the slack.
0-1. Oh, right on the elbow. And left elbow for Yasmani Tomas. Ryan DePanfilo coming out to have a look along with Chip Hale.
And no protective guard on that left elbow as Tomas. Oh man, imagine getting hit in the crazy bone at 93 miles an hour.
And again, that's one of the issues with the Ender Inciarte injury. A little thin on outfielders right now. And it's pretty much Peralta, Pollock, Tomas left to right in the outfield every day here.
Danny Dorn can play outfield. He was playing some outfield down in Reno, and Cliff Pennington in an emergency can go out there in the outfield. But right now you just hope Yasmani's okay and can continue in this ball game. That's Danny Dorn getting loose just in case.
Ariel Prieto, the translator, is out there as well with Ryan DePanfilo talking it over. One more look, real speed.
I don't think there was any intent there, but that ball was in the middle of the right-handed batter's box. I mean, it was almost behind Yasmani as he pulled that elbow in to try to protect his rib cage and took the brunt of it right on the left elbow.
Second baseman, number 2, Aaron Hill.
Well, it puts runners on first and second with 2 outs for Aaron Hill. And we'll keep an eye on Yasmani Tomas down there at first with Dave McKay. Aaron at .236 and 3 homers. Aaron had a couple of hits in yesterday's series finale against the Angels, his second multi-hit game in his last 4. And Shields now over 20 pitches here in the first. Yes, he went. John Hirschbeck down there.
Aaron Hill kind of involved in the mix at second base, over at third base, and usually it's dependent on his numbers against an opposing pitcher. Tonight he's got some good numbers against James Shields.
And Chris Owings has been struggling just a bit lately. Give CO a day here. Here's Chris. 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts yesterday. That one misses away, and it's 2-2. Normally you'd watch pitch counts very closely, but with this guy out there, it's a little less of a factor. He is an absolute workhorse.
Now, he's gone over 200 innings every full season in the big leagues. Double-digit win totals in 8 of his seasons in a row. He's a horse. Give me the ball and get out of the way.
At least 30 starts and at least 200 innings in each of the last 8 years. In fact, he is only, as we go into tonight, Bob, 2 innings shy of 2,000 for his career. 2-2 pitch. This is away, and it's full 3-2. There's the numbers you were talking about earlier.
10 base hits, 4 of them have left the yard.
Peralta at second, Tomas at first. Runners will be off for the pitch here. 3-2, 2 outs. There they go. Ball 4. The bases are loaded. And here comes Wellington Castillo. Second walk in the inning, plus the hit batter for James Shields. Aaron Balsley, the pitching coach, out to the mound to have a word as Castillo steps in. 25 pitch first. And it was the other night when we saw a little beef Wellington at the plate.
Absolutely.
Hector Santiago of the Angels.
This is what Wellington has done his whole career. He's not a guy that's going to hit for a high average. He's prone to striking out, but when you make mistakes, he's got the power to hit the ball out of the ballpark. That was his 3rd homer as a member of the Diamondbacks.
He's got 4 on the year between the Cubs, the Mariners, and the D-backs. David Peralta is at third, Yasmani Tomas at second, and Aaron Hill at first. That one almost got behind Norris. That's in there for a strike. 1-1.
That's a good take, even though that was a called strike. That's not a pitch you can do very much with in this situation. Wellington wisely just took it for a called strike.
Chance to put up a big crooked number in the first against James Shields, who is unbeaten on the year. Drop that one in there. 1-2.
That's one your teammates will put on a loop in the clubhouse the next day. Wellington Castillo completely fooled by that big curveball, kind of knee buckled.
And he struck him out. The Diamondbacks leave him loaded. But they get one. And through one, they lead the Padres 1-0.
Relationship between Wellington Castillo and Ruby De La Rosa. I asked Castillo, you know, there's kind of a rumor out there, maybe you caught Ruby in Little League in the Dominican. He said no. In fact, I was a shortstop in Little League. But yes, Ruby and Wellington did grow up in the same region of the Dominican Republic. And I asked Chip Hale if there's an advantage there with that relationship. He said sometimes with the language, even though Ruby speaks perfect English, there are things that Wellington can say in Spanish, and even the way that he says them, that can be more effective than anything we can tell him. The other thing I asked Wellington, I said, what does Ruby need out there on the mound? He said sometimes he gets lost out on the mound, and sometimes he's affected by things that happen. Wellington said he tries to really keep him on track and kind of light a fire under him if that's what he needs, guys.
Thank you, Jody. Derek Norris leads off the second. They are back together after their terrific outing as a duo and a battery over the weekend in San Francisco.
We mentioned it earlier. Supposedly, Ruby only shook off Wellington one time in that ball game. 8 innings of shutout baseball against the Giants. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Throw whatever he calls for.
Extremely efficient in that ball game. Got the ground ball outs when he needed them. 4 double plays behind him. Diamondbacks turned 5 in the ball game. And something that was a little different for Ruby in that game, a lot of two-seam sinking fastballs. A lot more than usual. And Wellington told us he was telling Ruby, just look, pitch down in the zone, just throw your two-seam down in the zone, let him hit it. And they did, and it worked out.
Wellington with the day glow polish on his nails tonight to make sure that Ruby can see those signs he's flashing.
Oh, plus it looks lovely.
There should be a two-seamer in.
Ooh, that thing came to eat. Second strikeout for Ruby. Well, that's a tough pitch like that on a right-hander.
Well, especially for a guy that's hunting fastballs middle of the plate in. Derek Norris sees that fastball middle of the plate in. By the time he swings, it's off the plate inside and underneath his bat.
So Norris strikes out to open up the second. Here's Will Venable, the center fielder. Venable .264 this year with 5 homers. He had a pair of hits in the Padres win at Oakland yesterday. They beat the A's. A roller to second by a diving Aaron Hill and into right center. A base hit for Venable. It just seems to really be a problem for the Diamondbacks at times.
Especially here at Chase Field. In his last 13 games plus that at bat, he's hitting over .486. Got 5 extra base hits, including 3 homers. And we mentioned because of the injury to Will Myers, he figures to get the overwhelming bulk of playing time out there in center field.
Well, here's the guy that seems to have taken over the second base job and figures to stay there for a long time. A former first-round pick. It's Corey Spangenberg. .239 and 2 homers. Second base has been a revolving pit of despair for San Diego, but this guy has really stepped in and done a good job. Spangenberg, first-round pick 4 years ago, and played almost exclusively second base in the minor leagues, but when he first came up to the big leagues last year, they seemed determined, and a lot of this seemed to come from Bud Black, to make him some kind of a super utility guy. He was playing left field and right field and some third base. But now with Jed Jerko down in the minor leagues, and he might stay there, and Solarte in at third, Middlebrooks has slumped from time to time. Spangenberg has had an opportunity here under Pat Murphy and done a good job. Lamb in on the grass at third. Lifted in the air toward the left field corner. Long run for Peralta. And quite get there as he was shaded over toward left center field for Spangenberg.
Hey fans, when the D-backs win, you win at Papa John's. The day after every Diamondbacks win, you get 50% off your regular menu price online order at Papa John's. Enter promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com. Nice effort there by David. As you mentioned, a long way to run. Went into a slide to protect himself against the wall down there. Just couldn't quite get to the spot.
But the stirrups on Spangenberg.
Old school.
Nice. 0-1 pitch. It's by Goldie and into right, a base hit. Venable will head for third, and he'll make it. They're on the corners with 1 out.
Goldie bouncing off that base, but Spangenberg still finds a hole in the right side of the infield, and with Will Venable's speed, that's an easy first to third advance. Looking for that double play grounder here with the runner at first to third.
We'll see if he can get it from Alexei Amarista. Amarista .220, couple of home runs. He's got a 6-game hitting streak. Goldie will hold Spangenberg on the bag at first. Lamb is in about a step or 2 at third. That's in the seats. 0-1. Amarista has picked up the offensive pace lately. Batting average for the year has come up about 35 points since the last week of May. He's had a good month here. Shields, the pitcher, is on deck. Looking for the ground ball right here. Runs it up the first base line. Goldie coming home. And they've got Venable hung up. Spangenberg will sneak into third base, and Goldie applies the tag. Amarista in at second.
So aware is Goldie. Coming in on that ball, he realizes they've got to play at home plate. The ball was bunted hard. Goldie charged hard. The rundown took a little longer than you would like, but ultimately Venable tagged out between third and home. Padres now have runners at second and third with 2 outs in the inning.
And the pitcher at the plate. Gold Glove first baseman. So it's Spangenberg at third, Amarista at second, 2 outs, and here's James Shields. By the way, that's 3-2-5-3 on the fielder's choice putout.
Pitch this guy tough with runners in scoring position. It's been a while since he was a really good hitter, but he was a really good hitter in high school. Hit almost 500. At the time, it was a school record, 11 homers and 45 runs driven in a high school season.
Shields from Santa Clarita, California, 16th round pick by the Rays in the 2000 draft. Just misses there. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Ruby at 25 pitches, 21 of them strikes. There's a shakeoff.
I think that was designed, though. I believe Wellington asked for him to shake his head no, just to confuse Shields a little bit.
Bounced over the mound. Ahmed will have to charge, and he makes a nice play. Good job there by Ruby De La Rosa to keep it a 1-0 ball game. Away, and if you screwed up and you don't have a gift yet, don't worry, that's where we come in, because now is the time to pick up your tickets for Sunday's game against the Padres. The first 10,000 dads will get this great D-backs dad t-shirt courtesy of Audi. You can get your tickets right now at dbacks.com, and we'll see you Sunday. Is dad in the house?
Well, before we get underway here in the bottom half of the second, let's take a look at our Valley Honda dealer keys to the ball game tonight. And with Pat Murphy taking over the Padres, Murphy's law is anything that can go wrong will go wrong.
Ah, nice.
Yeah. And hopefully the shields are down tonight. Diamondbacks hit 4 homers against James Shields last time they faced him, even though he ended up winning the ball game. Dropped the shield again.
It's kind of a Shatner reference right there. There's a man on the wing of this plane. Nick Ahmed. Nick batting .225 and 3 homers. And he's had a very productive bat up there lately. A couple of hits yesterday against the Angels, a double and an RBI. High chopper that goes foul, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, Nick has actually drawn some base on balls lately that have been huge because it rolls that lineup over. You get to the pitcher spot or the pinch hitter for the pitcher spot. Showing a lot better plate discipline recently.
Yeah, last 8 games, Nick has 8 hits and 5 walks. So he's got some patience up there.
Take a look at our Geico This Day in Major League Baseball history. We go all the way back to 1903 for the birth of Lou Gehrig, born in East Harlem, New York. Well, I'll tell you what, he was a big baby, 14-pounder. God bless you, Mrs. Gehrig.
Played at Columbia, of course, Lou Gehrig, and became the Iron Horse. Gary Cooper played him in the movies in a mirror. That's the story, right? Yeah. Gary Cooper couldn't hit lefty, so they gave him a backward uniform and had him stand near a mirror, and that's the way they filmed the movie.
Hollywood.
Bunch of phonies. 0-2 to Ruby. Well, they call it a visual effect.
Yeah. Also, another great all-time left-handed hitter in Major League Baseball, Dwayne Kuiper, has a birthday today.
Slight difference in the home run production there. Did you send him a text, anything?
Not yet. I just realized it was his birthday.
Better get on it. Yeah. They are, they're at Dodger Stadium this weekend. Giants and the Dodgers. It's like Chris Heston and Mike Bolsinger tonight in L.A. 0-2 to Ruby. Dropped the breaking ball in there for his 3rd strikeout. Hey fans, in tonight's game we are participating in the Home Run Challenge. That means every Diamondbacks homer raises $12,500 for prostate cancer research, and you can make a pledge of your own right now. Just go online to homerunchallenge.org. A.J. Pollock had one of the most unusual doubles you will ever see to lead off the ball game for the Diamondbacks. It got stuck in the wall out there in left. Baseball just disappeared in there. He did not go John Hirschbeck at first. This was AJ doubling not off the wall but into the wall as it got stuck in that seam there right between the pads. Just plunk. 1-1 pitch.
Well, and because AJ hit that double, he says, I've never had that happen to me as a defender. I better check with the umpires. He's talking to Sam Holbrook, the 3rd base umpire, and Bill Welke, the 2nd base ump, about what do you do if that happens. Base hit for AJ. He's 2 for 2.
And you said that Upton did the right thing, right? Just kind of give up, raise your hands,
raise
and
your
that
hands.
essentially signals no contest from the defender.
I mean, because it looks so simple. Same thing at Wrigley with the idea. It looks so easy. You can see the ball right there, so you reach for it, and it either gets stuck further into the pads or it drops down behind the pad, at which point it's a live ball, and that runner's entitled to keep running the bases. But you throw your hands in the air, the ball's out of play, it's a double, and we move on.
No moss. Jake Lamb struck out his first time. Jake has hit safely in 3 straight games now. Batting .214 since his return from the DL after that foot injury. There's a strike, 0-1.
It's been a little hit or miss for Jake. He's had some games where he barreled the ball up and hit it hard. He's had some other games where his swing was just a little bit off, popped some balls up to the left side of the infield. Still a work in progress coming back from that disabled list.
AJ 14 for 18 in his stolen base attempts this year. Doubled, went to third on a wild pitch to lead off the ball game, and scored on a Goldie groundout. 1-0 Diamondbacks.
Shields has a real good pickoff move for a right-hander. 31 pickoffs since the beginning of the 08 season. But if there is something in that delivery to be discovered, Dave McKay has discovered it by now.
First base coach CSI. And he's got the technology. That one's away from Norris, and AJ advances again. He moved up on a wild pitch in the first, does it again here in the second.
Once again, just a glove in front of the ball that time. Gets off the heel of the glove, goes over to the other on deck circle this time, allowing AJ to move into scoring position.
Shields has really labored through these first 2 innings. 43 pitches. He's walked 2, he's hit a batter, he's got 3 strikeouts. 1-1. Derek Norris wants to run through the signs again. With Pennington doing bird calls. 2-2.
Well, it all looks innocent enough, but those are the kind of things that coaches and players from the other side watch for. Somebody whistling from the bench, perhaps indicating off speed coming, fastball coming, whatever the whistle actually means. I don't think that's the case right here. I think Cliff is just practicing his bird calls for this winter.
Well, we've had birds throughout this homestand. Maybe
Yeah.
try and communicate with them. A number in front of the plate. Norris is on it, and he throws him out. So 46 pitches through 2 for James Shields. Diamondbacks lead it 1-0. This one's for the Birds. How about this? Runs per game. Diamondbacks #1 in the National League, 3rd in all of baseball.
Quantum leap forward for the Diamondbacks. Padres a huge increase as well. Of course, the Padres had to rebuild their entire big league team to do it.
On Hervey Solarte, the third baseman, leads off the third against Ruby De La Rosa. Flied out on the first pitch his first time up. Solarte, a switch hitter. 75 points better from the left-hand side, including both his home runs this season. 1-2. Seems like every switch hitter bats a ton more from the left-hand side. It's kind of the way it works out, right?
More right-hand pitchers in the game, yeah.
This is driven to the right field corner. Yasmani Tomas, what a catch! Well, everybody, the other broadcasters and other folks from other teams always come in and ask us about Yasmani Tomas, and we always say the same thing. He's more athletic and moves better than you think he will.
Absolutely. We've seen him do it in right field. We've seen him do it at third base. We saw him turn a double play at second base in an exaggerated pull shift. He just makes the plays.
That's a terrific catch out there. Solarte thought he might have had extra bases. Instead, it's out #1. Here's Yonder Alonso, who singled his first time up. And the shift is on for the Diamondbacks. Jake Lamb from the second base spot throws him out. Quickly 2 down in the third.
And good thing to see from Tomas in right. No hesitation. That was his left arm that he extended out there, made that catch, and then took the brunt of the fall as he made that diving stop over near the foul line.
Brings up Justin Upton. Reached on a fielder's choice his first time up. Diamondbacks couldn't quite turn a double play behind Ruby. Only 31 pitches, 26 for strikes, and another ground ball. It's Lamb at third, bobbles it, recovers. Backhand scoop by Goldie is in time, and a very quick, efficient third inning for Ruby De La Rosa. 6 pitches, 3 outs. What's next? Brought to you by CenturyLink. Well, what else? It's America's first baseman coming up. Who else? And Goldie. This year against the Padres, he has done his share of damage.
I imagine the numbers are fairly similar against every opponent.
That's probably true. Just change the name of the team.
Yeah.
Leave the numbers alone. Even a productive ground out his first time up for Paul tonight. Drove in the game's only run so far with a ground out to second base. Scored A.J. Pollock from third. Goldie 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts yesterday in the loss to the Angels. And despite that, still got 16 hits in his last 9 games, including 3 home runs. One misses away. This was Goldie in the first inning Wednesday. Number 19 off the lefty Hector Santiago.
He hits the ball as far and as hard to the opposite field as left-handed pull hitters.
Swing and a miss, and it's 2-2. This was Monday at Angel Stadium. That one off Jared Weaver. Just Do It is taken. I hate to tell you. I think there's a shoe company. But I love the effort.
Yeah.
3-2.
We get the sentiment.
Phil Knight's on the phone for you. Shields over 50 pitches. 51 now. 30 for strikes. 3-2 to Goldie. Ball 4. So James Shields through 2+ has walked 3 and hit a batter. The command has not been there tonight.
It's partially the command hasn't been there, but the Diamondbacks have been very picky in those full count pitches. Saw Aaron Hill take one low out of the zone to take his walk. David Peralta, same thing. He found himself behind in the count right away, but turned it around, drew base on balls. And now Goldie does it leading off here in the third.
So here is David in the cleanup spot tonight. Yasmani Tomas is on deck. Remember, he got plunked right on the elbow his first time up. Looked like it hurt a lot, but I don't see any pad on there.
Taking regular swings in the on deck circle with that weighted bat. That's a good sign.
Yeah. Goldie has 10 stolen bases on the year. He's been caught 4 times. Down there with Dave McKay. Base hit. That one rolls into right center, and Goldie will take the turn and hit for third. Peralta's going into second, and he is in there. A hustle double for David Peralta. He overslid the bag, but Amarista with the baseball was too far away to apply the tag, and it's second and third, nobody out.
Boy, how quickly your emotions change over in that third base dugout. You see Matt Kemp with the ball in his hand, one of the better throwing arms in all of baseball, and you see your batter runner trying to stretch it into an extra base hit. Oh, what a nice slide.
And Goldie running the bases.
Make sure it got through the infield. Realizes that they're not going to have a play on him at third. Gets to third, quickly turns around to see what's going on behind him.
13th double on the year for Peralta. Here's Tomas. He was hit by a pitch his first time and appears no worse for wear. 25th career double for David. Diamondbacks had a chance to break the game open in the first. They had bases loaded, 2 down, but Castillo struck out to end the inning. And here's Tomas, second and third, nobody out. And it's a ball and a strike. Yasmani doubled yesterday against the Angels. He's hit safely in 12 of his last 14 games. That one goes through the wickets. Here comes Goldie. Safe! He's in there. And Peralta's in at third. James Hoy, the plate umpire. That one took a big, nice carom back to Derek Norris, but Goldie got there first. Ooh, I think he just missed the tag. Pat Murphy on the top step of the dugout.
Boy, that is very close.
Headsets are going on. San Diego will challenge. It's been scored to this point a pass ball. And again, you need clear and convincing evidence that the call by plate umpire James Hoy was incorrect.
That could be the saving grace for the Diamondbacks. That was extremely close. One thing that works in Goldie's advantage is he can slide any way he has to. He can lead with his left leg. He can lead with his right leg. We've seen him slide wide of the bag and grab it with his hand.
That was a Mike Trout-esque like slide. We've seen Mike Trout on so many highlight reels avoid tags just like that. That's what Goldie looks like there. And Shields will throw some warm-up tosses while they take a look at New York. There's a chance maybe it got the uniform pant.
It looked like he got him there around the left ankle on that slide, but it was tough to tell if Goldie already had his foot on that front corner of the.
Oh, he is out at home. They found a clear and convincing look, and the call on the field has been overturned. Goldie is out at home. So Pat Murphy wins his challenge. The new Padres skipper. That's the first out here in the third, and the infield will come in for San Diego. Peralta's at third base. And Tomas the hitter with a 2-1 count up there. That was a pass ball that puts Peralta at third base.
Certainly the Padres got a huge break there, getting the benefit of the doubt on the call. But the bigger issue for me is the fact that this has turned into an elevated game of keep away. I mean, Derek Norris having all kinds of trouble with James Shields' deliveries today. He's missed a couple breaking balls in the dirt. That was a fastball he just threw right through the wickets.
Walk 3, hit a batter, 2 wild pitches, and now a pass ball. Well, Yasmani's going to be sore after this one.
Get a couple ice bags ready. He'll shake this off. If he shook off that pitch to the elbow, he'll shake this one off. You know he doesn't want to give up an at-bat in the first 3 innings of a ball game. Yasmani Tomas leads the majors in batting average in the first 3 innings of a ball game. .414 coming into play tonight.
Way to get him started. Another replay review brought to you by Mix One as we update the Diamondbacks challenge situation this year. All our replays review this season brought to us by our friends at Mix One. Peralta at third, 2-2. Just inside, and it's full. Aaron Hill would be next. Walked his first time up, and Shields about to throw his 60th pitch through 2 1/3. Got him. 4 strikeouts for Shields, 2 down in the third. And here's Aaron Hill.
Second baseman, Aaron Hill.
Well, Shields was in a bases-loaded mess in the first and escaped damage. Diamondbacks at second and third, nobody out, still no run in yet. And it's up to Aaron Hill here. Kicks it in there all the way. A ball and a strike. Shields is averaging more than 20 pitches per inning at this rate. Hard to right, and that one is a fair ball. 2-0 Diamondbacks. Aaron Hill is in at second with the RBI double. His 6th double this season.
I mentioned Aaron Hill with good career numbers against Shields. That'll continue with this double down into the right field corner. And for the Diamondbacks, it continues. They lead the National League in 2-out runs scored. And oh, by the way, the Padres pitching has given up the 2nd most 2-out runs in the National League. Only the Phillies have surrendered more.
Wellington Castillo struck out with the bases loaded to end the first. He has not been cheated so far tonight. Drives it to left center. That reaches the wall. Aaron Hill will score, and it's 3-0. And Beef Wellington is in there with his 4th double. Back-to-back Diamondback doubles make it 3-0.
Nice job by Welly. We heard Turner Ward talking about it before the ball game. We talk about it every time you face a good pitcher. You have to be ready to hit mistakes. And Wellington Castillo, with his 4th double of the season, got a mistake. Here's Aaron Hill, got a pitch up and out over the plate, drove it to right field. And then Wellington Castillo with a cement mixer slider that stayed right on the inside part of the plate, split that gap perfectly in left center.
Keep in mind, in 14 starts this year, James Shields is unbeaten, 7-0. But the Diamondbacks have got that pitch count way up there, already at 65, a 3-0 lead. Castillo at second. Here's Nick Ahmed. Nick grounded out his first time, 0 for 1.
Oh, this is huge after having that run taken off the board on the Paul Goldschmidt play at the plate, to come back and put 2 runs on the board in spite of it.
Shields does not go on a pitch in this ballpark anymore after giving up 4 homers in his first start here. Had a rough time of things tonight. That May 8th game, Diamondbacks homered off him 4 times. Owings, Pollock, Goldie, and Peralta. And somehow he still got the win in that ball game. Diamondbacks lost 6-5. That game did inflate Shields' home run totals a bit. Since then, he's only given up 5 homers in his last 7 starts, a more reasonable pace. But still, the Rockies' Kyle Kendrick is the only major league pitcher to have given up more homers this year than James Shields. 0-2.
That ball was cued right off the end of Nick Ahmed's bat. Had a lot of side English. It started out in foul territory. Looked like it wanted to come back into fair territory, but fortunately for Nick, it does stay in foul territory. Not a rotation on that ball. Fortunately for the D-backs, it spins in the direction they were hoping.
The ball was running a slalom course. Shields' career against the Diamondbacks. ERA at 6.5 and counting. Turner Ward loves what he sees from his Diamondback hitter so far. Bounces another one up there. He is just not sharp tonight. And he looks frustrated.
Derek Norris is the one that ought to be frustrated. Man, he's had to block pitches that hit 8 feet out in front of home plate. He's been crossed up a couple of times. He's had to jump into the other batter's box to try to block breaking balls.
Ball and 2 strikes. Castillo, the runner at second. And they can't get together again. Shields has been giving the Padres just what they were hoping for when they signed him to that $75 million free agent contract this spring. Unbeaten on the year. He's given up more than 3 earned runs in a start only 3 times all season. Top 10 in the league in innings pitched, and he's put up some big strikeout numbers. But off his game tonight. Ahmed making him work. See, away from Petco Park, which is of course a great pitcher's park. The ERA about 4.5, but still unbeaten. Time to put a 1 up there tonight. 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. There's James Shields. Last start Sunday at Petco Park against the Dodgers. 1 run, 5 hits, and 7. Another one bounced over the head of Andy Green, and there's Dick Roberson to pounce on, or Doc Rosenblatt, pardon me, to pounce on it.
Doc's got his eye on somebody he wants to give that baseball to.
Scott Chan down the right field line tonight. There's Doc. That's a keeper.
Oh, that looks like trouble to me. Somebody pulls one right down the third baseline into foul territory. We're going to have 2 baseballs in play here shortly.
Ahmed drives it to center, and it drops in front of Venable. Here comes Wellington, and he's in there. 4-0 Diamondbacks. Say this for Wellington, he is not fast.
He has deceptive speed. He's a lot slower than he looks.
He scored a single and an RBI for Ahmed.
Now with the pitcher spot coming up next, and Ruby De La Rosa hasn't shown much success with the bat, I think that was a good send by Andy Green. Take a chance. Make them make a perfect play to get you out at home plate. Venables throw tails to the first base side, and Castillo scores easily.
The RBI single for Nick takes second on the throw, and here's Ruby De La Rosa. They scored that a single. Diamondbacks tonight 3 for 8 with runners in scoring position. They had gone 3 for 22 in their previous 3 games. Right back to the mound, but the Diamondbacks put up 3 in the 3rd. Wellington Castillo, the RBI double. RBIs for Hill and Ahmed, and it's 4-0 Diamondbacks. Brought to you in part by your Valley Honda dealers, where you'll get more standard features for less money. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Mix One, great taste, no face, available at local retailers. Great to be home in Arizona. A hot night out there, but just gorgeous. It's nice and comfortable in here, especially for Ruby De La Rosa, who's been staked to a 4-0 lead. He's retired the last 4 Padres he's faced, and Matt Kemp will lead off the San Diego 4.
And with a run in the first tonight, 3 more runs in the third inning, the Diamondbacks increase their lead. They've scored 114 runs in the first 3 innings of ball games this year, most in the National League.
And with that 4-0 lead and thin on outfielders, Chip Hale playing it a little extra careful now. Danny Dorn has replaced Yasmani Tomas in right field. Danny's been playing first base all season, as Bob mentioned, at Reno, but he has played plenty of outfield in his 10-year minor league career. And so we'll see if this is just a precautionary move on the part of the Diamondback skipper, but Tomas is out and Dorn is in right as Kemp leads it off. And Kemp struck out looking his first time up, 0 for 1.
Well, you can imagine getting drilled on the elbow with a James Shields fastball. It's going to have some considerable swelling and some stiffness in there, and the sooner you can get in that training room and get an ice bag on it and begin the treatments from the training staff, the better your chances of being back in that lineup sooner.
Well, Chip Hale told us when Danny came up when we were in Anaheim that the Diamondbacks are pretty confident if they needed to put Danny in an outfield spot, even though he hasn't played there this year. And so here he is. 1-1 to Kemp. 96. He strikes out on what was an 0-2 pitch. 5 in a row set down by De La Rosa.
And that pass ball in the last half inning when Goldie tried to score. Derek Norris was somewhat injured on this play. As Goldie comes sliding in, you see the left foot go right over the right hand of Derek Norris. That's his throwing hand. Back in the dugout between innings, he's wiped it off with a towel, put his batting gloves on. He's going to play right through it.
And he belts it to left. Peralta. Ruby, if he keeps at this pace, he'll have another game where he flirts with a complete game.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
4 pitches, 2 outs here in the 4th. Will Venable singled his first time up. As Ted Leitner always says, on the mighty 1090, the Padres radio side, Will Venable. We'll find out. The great Ted Leitner just to our left here on broadcast row. There's the strike. You're not getting that kind of stuff from Mark Grant.
Oh, no. I wouldn't expect that kind of stuff from Mark Grant.
He barely speaks English. There he is.
Yeah, Mud Grant. It's always good to see Mark. Came over and spent some time in the booth earlier today under the guise of getting scouting reports. You know, we want to find out about the Padres. He wants to find out about the D-backs, but it turns into so much more.
And De La Rosa works a quick 1, 2, 3, 4th. He gets his 4th strikeout. He's retired 7 in a row, and he leads it 4-0. Reseda Family Homeless Shelter Group to tonight's game as part of Fox Sports Young Fans Week. Fox Sports Fan Express buses will help take over 1,000 kids to games in partnership with our regional sports networks across the country. A tremendous job here by Fox Sports Arizona. And there's our group here in the ballpark with us tonight. Great to have them here. Terrific job by Fox Sports Arizona and all our regional sports networks to take part in that program. Here's A.J. Pollock, who was 2 for 2, a double and a single. And he scored back in the first. A.J.'s bat had gone a little quiet lately. He was 1 for his last 18 coming into the ball game tonight. 0 for 4 yesterday, but he's been all about the base hit so far tonight. There's a strike.
Well, he really ambushed James Shields picking on that first pitch of the game in that line drive that stuck in the padding out there in left field. Shields didn't even know what hit him.
The ball just disappeared. Stuck between the pads, 1 and 2. Don't forget to vote AJ for the All-Star Game, fans. You can vote right here at Chase Field. You can vote online up to 35 times for every email address. All-Star Game next month. And Cincinnati only on Fox. That one misses, and it's 2 and 2.
This would be a great opportunity for the youngsters out there to vote on grandma and grandpa's email address, and mom and dad's, you know, some of the more internet challenged people. The kids could go on their email.
Grandma, can I have your email address? Why, sure, Timmy. What could happen? You got to use all the addresses you can get to, right?
Sure.
Get as many votes for AJ and Goldie in there. This is where you vote right at our ballpark. They got voting stations set up. Vote for the All-Star Game right here from Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati.
We got one seat available, no waiting.
There you go. Just start clicking away. 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. He has walked 4 and hit a batter, James Shields. He's not been on his game tonight. So AJ aboard for the 3rd time. Here's Jake Lamb, who's 0 for 2. Padres just lost 3 of 4 in their home-and-home series with the Oakland A's. They needed a 3-1 win yesterday in Oakland just to avoid a 4-game sweep. So they've hit a rough patch here. Padres did not get great pitching in that series. They were outscored in the 4 games 32-11. We'll see some of their big names this weekend. Shields tonight, Tyson Ross tomorrow against Robbie Ray. And Sunday it's Andrew Kashner versus Jeremy Hellickson.
Tyson Ross tomorrow. We know he lives and dies with that slider, and James Shields has given the D-backs a pretty nice preview of that slider. He's thrown more sliders tonight than I think he has in any start this season. Some of them are little cut fastballs, others are legitimate sliders, but a whole bunch of those pitches to the Diamondbacks so far tonight.
Shields has had at least 1 base runner in every inning. Traffic around him throughout the ball game. No pace, no rhythm, no rocking chair for him. He's been busy and laboring. 2 O's in there for a strike. Long look down to Andy Green at third for Jake. Here goes A.J. Pollock. Time granted by James Hoy behind the plates. A long set by Shields. And there you see Bill Welke telling A.J. you got to go back.
That's too bad, but Jake actually did the right thing. If you get a pitcher out there holding the ball as long as Shields was, to protect your base runner, you have to call timeout. Very late timeout granted. A.J. was already on the move towards second base.
2-1 count. You had to figure something might be up there, certainly if you're Shields, and that long set. Another 2-1 then. Pollock holds and Lamb lifts it in the air to left. Justin Upton. A.J. will tag and head for second, and he is in there. Hit deep to the left field corner, and Pollock moves up.
Just good base running right there. Deep fly ball to left field. I've talked about this before. You did 1,000 of those out there, and a big league outfielder is going to catch 999 of them. So you might as well go back and tag up the place right in front of you. If you see that throw is going to beat you to second base, you can always stop and go back to first, but A.J. easily makes it into second base.
But now that does leave first base open for Goldie. He has an RBI ground out. He walked his last time. Peralta on deck. Spangenberg sneaking in back there at second. Goldie puts a dribble to Amarista, plants and throws, and Goldie beats it out for the infield hit.
About advancing to third. It's a good thing he stopped out there at second base. That gave Goldie the opportunity to leg this out for an infield single. Long throw by Amarista, not nearly in time.
So 2 on, 1 out for Peralta, who's had a good night at the plate so far. He walked in the first, doubled and scored in the third. So David has now hit safely in 4 straight and 6 of his last 7. Right back at Shields, right in the glove, low throw, and they turn it. A hard comebacker right to the mound. Shields reacted quickly, and they turn 2. Through 4, the Diamondbacks have a 4-0 lead. Can celebrate America's birthday with friends and family in air-conditioned, comforted Chase Field while the D-backs take on the Rockies, and then stick around as we open the roof for a post-game fireworks spectacular presented by Gila River Casinos. You can get your 4th of July tickets right now at dbacks.com. That'll be fun. 4th of July spectacular. Goldie went in hard there at second on Amarista. Appears to be okay.
He does everything hard on a baseball field. Kind of got caught in between which direction to slide there because of the bad throw from James Shields. Still did everything he could to disrupt that possible double play.
Corey Spangenberg leads off the San Diego fifth against Ruby De La Rosa, who has retired the last 7 batters he's faced. Spangenberg singled his first time up. Gets out in front of the plate. Castillo. 8 straight set down. 1 away in the 5th. Boy, Ruby so far has given up just 3 hits, all singles. He has not walked a batter and has 4 strikeouts. View from TGI Fridays. That's pretty good. What a view. Just nice and comfortable. Got a big table there. They bring your food to you. That's the way to do it.
Might get a Goldie home run ball in the middle of your salad. You never know.
Alexei Amarista comes into tonight with a 6-game hitting streak. Right to Aaron Hill. We got that ground ball working. 2 down.
Catcher, James Shields.
Brings up James Shields.
Must be being punished for something. He's at 88 pitches in the ball game, trailing 4-0 here in the 5th inning, and he's going to take the at bat.
How about that? He's at 88 pitches. Ruby De La Rosa's at 44. If Ruby can find a way to stay this efficient, I mean, that is a big time game changer for this entire rotation. And a career changer for him. Shields knocks it into center, a base hit. And snaps his streak of 9 straight set down by Ruby. 4th hit for the Padres.
Ruby maybe just getting ahead of himself a little bit. Had Shields in that 0-2 hole. Wanted to put him away quickly, get his team back in that dugout. Just caught way too much plate with that 0-2 fastball.
So that brings up the leadoff man, Yangervis Solarte, who was twice flying out to right. Shields, a career American League pitcher with the Tampa Bay Rays and the Kansas City Royals, so can't get used to all this National League stuff. Goldie will play behind the runner at first, and that one misses. 1-0.
Standard operating procedure when you have a runner at first that either isn't a very good runner, or in this case is a pitcher. You play right off of his hip, and as Ruby gets into the set position, if that pitcher holds his ground, doesn't take a bigger lead, then you back off.
That is belted into right, a base hit. Dorn is there. Back-to-back 2-out singles for the Padres.
First baseman, Yonder Alonso.
Well, the center cut fastball, belt high that time.
Well, Ruby was cruising along, 9 straight set down. First 2 out here in the 5th, but now he's got first and second for Yonder Alonso, the Padres' best hitter.
Yeah, a quick meeting to the mound by Wellington Castillo, joined by Paul Goldschmidt and Nick Ahmed. Let's get Ruby right back on the track now. Lost your focus for a couple of hitters. Let's get it back.
Alonso 1 for 2, a first inning single. 1-0.
This was earlier this year, April 13th. Yonder Alonso with a long home run to center field at Petco Park against Ruby De La Rosa.
And here at Chase Field, he has been a problem. He's hit about .330 with 3 homers, just over 20 games. Hey, cut at that one, 96, and it's a ball and a strike.
Really tardy that time.
Ruby 51 pitches, 41 strikes. One and one. This is that time at 97 miles an hour. Alonso, you might remember, injured his shoulder May 7th right here at Chase Field. Wound up on the DL and missed about a month. Just got back in the lineup June 2nd. One misses upstairs, and now he's behind 3 balls and a strike, and he's got Justin Upton on deck. It's gotten away from him a bit here in the 5th with 2 outs. Ball 4, the bases are loaded. 2 singles and a walk, all with 2 down, and here comes Mike Harkey as Justin Upton steps up to the plate. Wellington Castillo, and Jody Jackson was talking about this early in the ball game, has these moments. Wellington told us that Ruby just kind of loses focus a bit.
We didn't see him miss his spot by more than an inch or 2 through the first 4 innings of the ball game. Wellington Castillo put the glove at the knees on the outside corner. That's where Ruby was throwing. They tried to come inside on a Padre hitter. He put it right on that corner. But in this inning, after getting 2 quick outs, gave up the base hit to Shields on an 0-2 pitch, and Solarte with a line drive into right. Now a walk to Alonso. Find a way to get it back and get it back quickly.
A model of efficiency coming into this inning, but it's gotten away from him here. Shields at third, Solarte at second, and Alonso at first. And Upton will be the hitter. 3 homers in 7 games this year versus the Diamondbacks. Bases loaded, 2 outs. In there for a strike, 0-1.
Good first pitch slider for a called strike right there. Justin Upton is constantly looking to ambush first pitch fastballs.
He has reached on a fielder's choice tonight and grounded out 0 for 2 so far.
Padres have really been struggling over their last 6+ games. 6 for 41 with runners in scoring position. That's a 146 team batting average.
Misses again, and Ruby's behind. 2 balls and a strike.
And you can see on our Fox tracks, technically all 3 pitches Ruby has thrown to Justin Upton have been in the strike zone. Any part of the ball touches any part of that box, it's considered to be in the zone.
James Hoy back there, not giving him that high strike. Two and 1. In there at 98, 2-2.
Perfect location. Just a little bit of tailing action on that fastball. Got it back to the corner right at the knees.
He's got that great changeup, don't forget. See if they're feeling it here on 2-2. Missed with it. And it's full 3-2. Kemp would be next. Shields at third, Solarte at second, Alonso at first. 2 outs, 3 balls and 2 strikes to Justin Upton.
Ruby apparently has a definitive idea of what he wants to throw in this full count pitch. Key situation in the ball game right here. If there's any doubt in your mind, you got to go out there and talk it over.
And the Diamondbacks had grown concern that Ruby was shaking off the signs from the catcher in recent starts. It was a little bit of a stubborn streak there, but he did not do that against the Giants Sunday. Three and two, 2 outs. That's out of play.
99.
Let's see, 97, 98, and now 99. 60 pitches, 44 strikes. He's really feeling it tonight. Frequently hit 100 miles an hour when he was coming up with the Dodgers. That was before Tommy John surgery. And he's got that fastball tonight. One more time on 3 and 2. He walked in a run. Back-to-back walks for De La Rosa. It's 4-1.
Hey, you know I got that walk right there. Right fielder. You know I got that walk right there.
And now Kemp will be the hitter with the bases full. Mike Harkey on the phone. Matt Kemp 0 for 2. He has struck out twice. Shields a 2-out single. Solarte a base hit. Walks to Alonso and now to Upton. And here's Kemp. The power has finally started to show some signs of coming around for Matt Kemp. He homered yesterday in their win at Oakland. Solarte at third, Alonso at second, and Upton at first. Kemp has 3 homers in his last 12 games. Oh, 2.
A good combination here. First pitch fastball just off the outside corner, got the foul ball from Matt Kemp, and then comes right back with the slider in exactly the same location, breaking away. Kemp can't hold up, can't catch up to it. Perfect pitch.
In the dirt. Trying to get Kemp to expand his zone here and get out of this mess. And your change for the left-hander warming up in the Sanderson Ford bullpen. One and 2. Got him. Ruby De La Rosa leaves him loaded and escapes further damage. But the Padres get a run. Bottom 5 coming up. Diamondbacks lead it 4-1. Padres 4-1 as Danny Dorn is set to lead off the inning. And BB, as you know, one of the highlights of every homestand here is checking in with Ralph Kelso for the weather. It's time for this week's edition of the Ralph Kelso Spot On Weather Forecast. Ralph, it's hot out there. What have you got for us?
That's right, Bert. Hello, Diamondback Nation. I'd like to introduce you today, a colleague of mine in the weather industry, Mr. Jim Cantore.
Wow.
Come on in, Jim.
Hey, guys, I had to come out. It's so extreme out here. Hit your first heat wave with you, but I got to tell you, I started the day up on the top of the Arizona Snow Bowl. 64 degrees, had a big wad of snow in my hand. By the time I got to Phoenix here, it was about 50 degrees warmer, so it's hot. It's hot.
Nice and comfortable inside.
Oh,
Jim,
beautiful inside.
Thanks for
I've even
joining
got a little
us.
breeze here in the back of my head.
Now,
and I look up and I'm like, wow, look at those air conditioning ducts. So it's comfortable. You got to be in here. It's fantastic.
Jim, had you heard about Ralph's work in the weather industry? Is that why you're here?
Well, Ralph's got to have a pretty easy job out here. Until the monsoon kicks in, to give perfect weather every night. I mean, I'm envious. I'm envious of this guy.
Now, we don't have any thunder snow for you, but what have you seen in Ralph's weather predictions and forecasts in the Ralph Kelso Spot On Weather Forecast that you've liked from a technical standpoint?
He gets into detail. I mean, when he really mentions that hot weather, I can feel the passion. I can feel the passion. So, I'm right there with you, Ralphie. I'm right there with you, baby.
I'm impressed. I didn't know Ralph had such big-time friends in the industry. This is impressive.
He brings the meat and meteorology. That is beautiful. Nobody does it better.
You can use that if you want.
Well, I'm going to leave that one for Ralphie. I would never, ever take that one from you. No way.
Well, Jim, it's great to have you. We
Thanks,
thank you for joining us. And are you a D-backs fan? You just happen to be visiting? What's happening?
Listen, one night I was covering a tropical system in South Florida, and I couldn't wait to get back to my room to see the end of the World Series between the Diamondbacks and the Yankees. And I'm standing there pouring, dripping wet, watching Rivera blow one of the few saves he's ever blown, and you guys got the World Series. So
worked out for my partner.
That tells you who I'm a fan of.
Yeah. Take that, Jim.
Yeah, I did. I did.
The great Jim Cantore from the Weather Channel. Jim, thanks so much. Enjoy the ball game.
Thank you.
Great. Good stuff.
How about Ralph Kelso? Wow.
Ralphie's got friends in high places.
Yes, he does. 0-2 to Aaron Hill.
We've got to be a little more careful with this partner because, Ralphie's going to get so big that the Weather Channel is going to try to hire him away from us.
Yeah, we might lose him.
Yeah, that'd be terrible.
Well, they got 24-hour weather. They must need people, right? They must have spotted Ralph. Somebody turned in a very positive scouting report, on the He's about a 70 in terms of being telegenic on the 80 scale, 20/80. I got Ralph as 70.
Oh boy,
it's impressive.
Well, every night when Ralph leaves the booth, we give him some friendly words of advice, and man, I tell you, he took it to the next level tonight.
James Shields rings up Aaron Hill. 5th strikeout for Shields, 2 down in the 5th. Boy, Jim Cantor, you know, he's the guy that's out there. He's in the hurricanes, he's in the windstorms, he's out there in thunder snow. I mean, he is the man.
The thunder snow we were looking at online earlier, that's must see. If you haven't seen it yet, you need to check that out.
Yeah, type that into YouTube, Jim Cantori thunder snow, and it's something.
Well, you think we get excited about baseball.
And he's out there in a storm, man. Wellington Castillo. Shields knocking on the door of 100 pitches through 5. Wellington drives that to right. Kemp is there. And Shields works a 1, 2, 3, 5th. Diamondbacks lead the Padres 4-1. Is brought to you in part by Card Power from Arizona Federal Credit Union. Now that's the power of us. And by Oregano's Pizza Bistro, your neighborhood pizza joint. We are athletic supporters. 6th inning here at Chase Field. Diamondbacks lead the Padres 4-1. Those hats are going fast. Can't keep them on the shelves.
It's a one-day sale. You got to get there quick.
Newly renovated team shop here at Chase Field. They did a wonderful job with it. They got everything you need down there. Ruby De La Rosa, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks, walked in a run in his last inning. So he's at 65 pitches, 47 strikes. Has 4 straight reach for the Padres, all with 2 outs in the last inning, and Derek Norris leads off the 6th. Norris 0 for 2. He has struck out and flied out. That's some breaking news for you, BB.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's just in. Diamondbacks have agreed to terms on a minor league contract with pitcher Jhoulys Chacín, the former Rocky. And he will start tomorrow for Reno. Hard to third. Jake Lamb is there. So Jhoulys Chacín, Diamondback fans of course will remember him as a Colorado Rocky, pitched there 6 years, was a 14-game winner 2 years ago. He's now in the organization. Will start tomorrow night for the Reno Aces. That was a shot right at Jake Lamb. Will Venable. 1 for 2, a single in the second.
Chacín is just a couple of years removed from a 14-win season with the Rockies. Well, you never know. Change of scenery, change of vocabulary, change of coaching staffs. You never know. He's always had a really good arm.
The Rockies caught him very early in spring training. It was kind of a surprise. And he's been kicking around out there. He was released March 22nd. Signed as a free agent with Cleveland in the middle of April. Joey Chacín. And let's see, made 7 starts for the Indians AAA team in Columbus. Went 1-3 with a 3.21 ERA. And now he's a Diamondback. Broken bat pop-up. Jake Lamb is under. 2 down. Hey fans, if you or someone you know would love to help call the game from the booth, and they're between the ages of 10 and 14, come on out Sunday here to Chase Field. It's the Fox Sports Arizona Sanderson Ford Kidcaster auditions. Just go to the Sandlot near Baxter's Den from 11:30 to 1:30, and maybe we'll see you here. Maybe you'll get to meet Ralph Kelso. Corey Spangenberg, 1 for 2. He singled his first time up. Did you know that Jim Cantor was a big Yankee fan?
I do now.
How about that?
I didn't know beforehand.
Out there in all those hurricanes and blizzards, he has time to watch a ball game. Coming inside. I saw Wellington really plant that glove in there emphatically.
Usually when I reference Yankee fans, I preface it with poor, misguided Yankee fans.
Kind of goes without saying, really. Evil empire, all that stuff. 2-1. Speaking of Yankee fans, how about this? History today. Alex Rodriguez joins the 3,000 hit club with a home run off the Tigers' Justin Verlander, and appropriately it's about 3 rows into that short porch and right. So Alex Rodriguez, 3,000 hits.
And incidentally, there's still 35 Yankee fans fighting over that ball in the right field bleachers.
Well, Bald Vinny gets all those. He's like Colonel Kurtz in Apocalypse Now. You're a clerk here to collect the bill. Three and 2. The lights are on the cell phones. Check out the reaction after some history at Yankee Stadium. He's not giving that one up. Didn't have quite the fanfare that most 3,000 hits do. He loses Spangenberg. This is how it started last time for Ruby. He quickly got the first 2 outs and gave up 2 singles and 2 walks.
Shortstop, Alexi.
And now Alexi Almarista will hit with Spangenberg at first and 2 down. Amarista 0 for 2 so far. Grounded out his last time. 3rd walk issued by Ruby. Amarista having a good month at the plate. He's hitting over .330 in June. Pitcher spot is due up next. Brett Wallace just called up today from their AAA ball club. He's in the on-deck circle, a former Houston Astro. And Sun Devil now reunited with Pat Murphy. So 0-2 to Amarista. Boy, Ruby's been lighting up that radar gun all night long. Throwing hard. And for a while, hardly throwing is very efficient through the first 4 innings, but much less so here in the 5th and 6th. In the air, right center field, Danny Dorn. A.J. Pollock runs it down, and they strand the 2-out walk. Bottom 6, Diamondbacks lead it 4-1. Diamondback Live pregame show comes your way tomorrow night. Tyson Ross for the Padres and Robbie Ray for the Diamondbacks. Diamondback Live pregame show at 6:30. We have a 7:10 start tomorrow night, a little later than normal for Saturday night. Oh, Robbie Ray's look good. Really good. Nick Ahmed will lead off the 6th. And James Shields, they had Brett Wallace in the on-deck circle, but Amarista flied out. And so Shields is back out there at just under 100 pitches. And Ruby De La Rosa, as far as he goes, he is out there in the on-deck circle for the Diamondbacks. So Ahmed, De La Rosa, Pollock, 8, 9, and 1 here in the 6th. Nick had an RBI single his last time up. He's 1 for 2.
Norris on the side of the head with a backswing there.
Been a long night for him.
Fortunately, it looked like it caught mostly mask that time. It scared him and rattled him more than hurt him that time. Takes a lot more than that to knock Derek Norris down.
Get whacked in the head like that? That must have happened.
A couple times, yeah. Shook some things loose. I felt I was actually smarter afterwards.
Friendly? No, he's better. Boy, James Shields has had a quick glove hand out there tonight. He's now sit down 5 in a row.
Pitcher.
Turned a double play just like that to end the 4th.
They love the play on the comebacker to the mound. Not so crazy about that throw to first base. We've seen it happen where a pitcher lobs the ball like that. It gets up in the lights on the third base side of the field. The first baseman can't make a play.
Ruby De La Rosa 0 for 2. He struck out and grounded out. Vincent and Garces, right-hander and a left-hander, warming up for Pat Murphy. Ruby knocks it into left center, a base hit. Up and over to cut it off, and De La Rosa has a one-out single. Shields singled off him in the 5th, and now De La Rosa. A little payback here in the 6th.
Nice payback this time. Hits that ball well toward the gap in left center. Only Justin Upton's speed keeps that from rolling all the way out to the warning track. And Dave McKay threw a lasso around De La Rosa. Stay right here.
Archie Bradley. A.J. Pollock has been aboard 3 times tonight. A double, a single. He walked his last time up. He scored a run. Roller to short. Amarista. Spangenberg, and Pollock beats it out. Chance Roberts air conditioning pool play of the game, something you will almost never see. A.J. Pollock, it just sticks right in the wall there, and double to lead off the ball game for the Diamondbacks. On the fly, just kerplunk, and it's in there.
I'm telling you, you could stand out there and throw baseballs at that gap between those 2 pads, and it might take you buckets of balls to get one to stick like that.
Jake Lamb 0 for 3. There goes A.J. He is in there. Stolen base for Pollock, his 15th this year. Murphy up on the top step. He wants to challenge. He's asking the umpires to put the headsets on.
It used to be it was an automatic safe call at second when you tag the runner up that high, but with instant replay now.
Well, Murphy's already won 1 challenge tonight, trying to go 2 for 2.
Yeah, the idea is the middle infielder, just get the tag on the runner anywhere. Tag him on the shoulder, tag him on the helmet. Tags him up in the chest, and the slow motion replay looked like he got him just a split second before A.J. got the foot on the bag.
Bill Welke, the second base umpire. Remember, there are no limits on the challenges this year if you get it right. Another replay review brought to us by our friends at Mix One. You get them right, you can keep going if you're the manager. And he is out at second. That one was really quick. So Murphy 2 for 2 tonight. His challenges, and that ends the inning. Ball overturned, brought to us by Mix One. We go to the 7th. It's 4-1 Diamondbacks.
the former college coach of the ASU Sun Devils, the 4-time Pac-10 Coach of the Year, now having the job here at the big leagues. He is the interim manager, and last night he got his first win in that capacity, and he said he's very grateful for this opportunity. Tuffy Gozowicz, who of course played for Pat at ASU for 4 years, said it's great to see a guy who deserves the opportunity get it. Now, he said, how class is Bud Black, of course, who was let go, relieved of his duties. He said, Bud texted me last night after that first win, and of course Pat got the shower, the beer shower, and the baby powder apparently celebration after the win, and he said he's really grateful for Bud Black and everyone on that staff that really helped him have the access when he was the manager of the Chihuahuas and really helped him get into this role right now with the Padres.
And here he is in the big leagues. Thanks, Jody. Melvin Upton. Yes, it's BJ. He now goes by Melvin and has joined his brother Justin once again. First they were united in Atlanta, now reunited in San Diego. He'll hit for Shields. Backhand scoop there by Jake Lamb at third, and that's the first out here in the seventh.
Hey fans, we invite you to play Kachinko by signing up at one of the 20 interactive kiosks right here at Chase Field during any Diamondbacks regular season home game.
I want to thank Jim Cantori from the Weather Channel for joining us again tonight on the Ralph Kelso Spot On Weather Forecast. Jim's been making the rounds. Yeah. All the broadcasters are fighting to take pictures with him.
We know a celebrity when we see one.
Kind of funny. I'm told that Brandon Webb was a huge fan, and Todd Walsh as well. They were overjoyed to meet Jim. Jody Jackson, a big Jim fan. Weather Channel. Everyone's watching the Weather Channel, dude. And here be Solarte. Bullpen busy. Addison Reed is kind of getting it cranked up a little bit. About that time.
Well, 2 quick outs in the inning. He'll slow down now. He was probably just beginning to throw down in that bullpen, and after the first out they told him, okay, slow down a little bit. After the second out they may just have him stand there and see what happens the rest of this inning.
Now, Ruby only at 88 pitches, 63 for strikes. Yonder Alonso has singled and walked. He's 1 for 2. And the shift is on for the Diamondbacks. Jake Lamb now over. Here's second base umpire Bill Welke. There's the pitch count for Ruby. That 5th inning got a little rocky. Other than that, very good. Ruby's lost only once in his last 8 starts, trying to make it back-to-back wins here this week. Outstanding against the Giants Sunday at AT&T Park. And the Diamondbacks completed that 3-game sweep, and now looking for another win to open up this 3-game series against the Padres. There is Jim Cantori. Now he's hanging out with Gonzo. Everybody wants to talk to Jim. That's foul. That would be one thing to think about. I bet everywhere you go, hey, what's it going to be like tomorrow? I don't know. I'm just visiting here. What do you want from me?
Hot. Yeah.
Usually it's hard to recognize him because he's got, you know, a parka over his head and there's a blizzard or a hurricane and he's standing out there holding a microphone. Rocking the fedora here tonight in Arizona. 1-2. 98. This guy seems like a good fit for the 2-hole Yonder Alonso. Now Baxter wants a picture with Jim Cantori. Ruby De La Rosa, 97. Alonso disgusted there as he strikes out. That's 6 punch outs for Ruby. who is through 7 with a 4-1 lead. Arizona Federal Credit Union power player of the game. He was tremendous again tonight. 1 run on 5 hits. He walked 3 and he struck out 6.
Just a momentary blip of lost focus, but other than that, he's been outstanding tonight. A live fastball in the upper 90s. Has that good changeup as usual. Hasn't really needed many sliders tonight. Working very well with this catcher, Wellington Castillo, once again.
8 scoreless innings Sunday in San Francisco. 7 innings of 1-run ball here tonight against the Padres. And the new pitcher for San Diego, on in relief of James Shields, is the left-hander Frank Garces, and Jake Lamb leads it off. Jake so far 0 for 3. Garces scoreless baseball in 12 of his last 13 outings. An ERA just under 4.30, his 25th appearance. One and 2. Called strike 3.
MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 13 years. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in true HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Highlights, live look-ins, a pitch tracking widget, and more. Blackout rules apply. Visit MLB.TV for details.
Here's Goldie. He had an RBI ground out in the first, walked in the third, singled his last time up. Here's a strike, 0-1. Bringing the left-hander to pitch this 7th inning with Lamb and Peralta batting from the left-hand side. But this is the AB, if you're Pat Murphy, that you're worried about here. And the left-hander Danny Dorn behind Peralta. Came in for Tomas, who had to leave the game after 2 at-bats. He was hit on the elbow. Stayed in the game for a while, but seemed precautionary on the part of Chip Hill to get Tomas out of there.
Well, like I said, I think just getting him back into the training room, start those treatments right away, rather than wait until the end of the ball game, could possibly get him back into that lineup a lot quicker.
So we'll have the latest on the condition of Yasmani Tomas on the Diamondback Live post-game show. Todd Walsh and Brandon Webb will have the latest on that. Jody Jackson will have reaction from the clubhouse as soon as our game is over here on Fox Sports Arizona. 1-2 pitch. Yikes. Whew. Doc Rosenblatt pounces on that one. No, he lets it go. But Doc's off his game a little down there tonight. I hate to get critical, but
Doc's a man that knows his range. He knows what he can handle.
Two and two.
Good catcher's interference there. Derek Norris must have snuck in there a little too close to Goldie, and on his swing looked like he caught just a piece of the mitt. Yeah, right there, just ever so slightly. But home plate umpire James Hoy heard the contact, called it immediately, and Goldie heads on down to first.
Not much going right back there tonight for Derek Norris. A one-out base runner now for Peralta. He has walked, doubled, and scored a run and hit into a double play. Here goes Goldie. The throw from Norris is not in time. 11th stolen base for Paul Goldschmidt.
Just takes off on first movement. The fact that David Peralta swung at that slider low and away held Derek Norris back just long enough, and Goldie in easily at second base.
Padres have the shift on for Peralta. Spangenberg way out there in right field. Amarista near the bag at second, and now Garces will step off. David's had better luck lately against left-hand pitching. We've seen him get a couple of base hits against some different lefties.
Could be a byproduct. He's just seen more lefties. You know, relatively few, if any, at-bats against left-handed pitching through the early part of the season. When Mark Trumbo was here, you had the right-handed bats that you would put in the outfield to face those left-handed pitchers. But lately, David's seeing a lot more left-handers.
Big swing and a miss at the 1-1 pitch.
And he's shown a willingness to go to the opposite field against left-handed pitching. You can see from that breaking ball right there, working away from David. Try to pull that, you're either going to swing and miss or hit an easy ground ball into the middle of that shift.
And just under 180 this year against left-hand pitching. A ball and 2 strikes. And there's the strikeout. Second strikeout for Garces, 2 down. Brings up Danny Dorn. And he grounded out at his first at bat tonight. 5 for 14 with the Diamondbacks this year. He was crushing it at Reno. 426 in 39 games with the Aces, including 4 home runs. A look from down low right behind home plate. Batter's box suites here at Chase Field.
And you can see from that view right there that Amarista had snuck in behind Goldie at second base, was hoping for a pickoff attempt from Garces, but instead Garces picked up that front leg and went home. Oh, by the way, besides leading the National League in just about every important offensive category, Goldie is now 11th in stolen bases in the National League, tied with Dexter Fowler.
Dexter Fowler. Goldie should be playing center field. And Bryce Harper. Oh, did you see Bryce Harper injure his leg on that throw?
On a throw, yeah.
And they said it was a fairly mild injury, and you certainly don't want to root for anybody to get injured, especially a star like Harper. That's good for baseball, but it'll help Goldie's numbers a little bit. Those two are neck and neck in the MVP race right now in the National League. 2-1 pitch. Danny Dorn drives it to center, but right at Venable. And they strand Goldie at second base. We go to the 8th inning. Diamondbacks lead the Padres 4-1. Living the gig life. The Gig Life high-speed highlights presented by Cox. Our Gila River game summary. 4-1 D-backs and Ruby De La Rosa, who's at 94 pitches right now, back out there to start the 8th. He's been terrific so far. A run on 5 hits. He's walked 3 and struck out 6. Justin Upton, Matt Kemp, and Derek Norris 3, 4, and 5 due up in the San Diego 8th. Upton took a bases loaded walk to drive in the Padre only run his last time up. He's 0 for 2. By the way, we have good news on Yasmani Tomas. The Diamondbacks tell us he left tonight's game with a left elbow contusion, and X-rays negative on Yasmani Tomas, so that's good news. We'll hear from Chip Hale about that right after our ball game on the Diamondback Live postgame show. He's been replaced by Danny Dorn in right field, but not before. As you saw in our highlights, he made a terrific diving catch. 98 there from Ruby, and it's 1-2. Todd Walsh and Brandon Webb will have D-backs live right after our ball game. Jody Jackson reaction from the clubhouse. We'll hear from Chip Hale among others. 97 misses, and it's 2-2. All over the map right there. Got him surrounded.
Well, we talked about that the other day, facing good hitters. How do you pitch them? You know, the highest compliment you can pay a guy is mix it up.
Over to short, backhanded by Ahmed. Long throw, pulls Goldie off the bag. Nick was from the outfield grass that time. Really had to plant and make a long throw. With Upton, who runs well, beat it out. They're going to rule that an error on Ahmed.
Yeah, Nick really got up on top. A lot of times he'll throw at a 3/4 arm angle when he has plenty of time, but when he needs to get a little extra on the throw, he goes right up over the top, and unfortunately that time pulls Goldie off the bag for an E6.
So the leadoff man aboard. Ruby about to throw pitch number 100. Here's Matt Kemp, who was 0 for 3. He has struck out tonight 3 times against De La Rosa. So Ruby has had his number big time here tonight. Drops that one in there, and it's 0-1. You can score. Love to see that.
She's even got the roster taped to the scorebook right there.
Big league. It's the one thing that everyone does the same, yet everyone does it differently. Kind of amazing. The Rose is ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. Doc Rosenblatt having to come in on that ball.
He's playing no doubles out there.
Doc's going to need a few days off after tonight.
Doc wouldn't know what to do with himself with an off day. He lives for this.
Well, last time he had an off day, we found him fishing in Mexico with Scott Geyer.
Yeah.
They got a reliever ready down there in the Diamondback bullpen. Should they feel the need to pull the plug here? There goes Justin Upton. Yep, it's a roller up the line. That's fair. Lamb will make a low throw. Goldie can't scoop it. And Upton's in at third. Then Hoffman's going to stop him there. So a couple of errant throws here by the left side of the Diamondback infield. And put 2 on for the Padres and nobody out.
Catcher Derek Norris.
Relatively easy play right there. Just looked like Jake Lamb spiked that ball over there to Goldie. A tough hop for him to handle. Came up a little higher than he was expecting.
E5. So the error on Ahmed followed by the error on Lamb. Daniel Hudson is coming in. And here's Chip Hale to go get the baseball from Ruby De La Rosa, who was tremendous once again for the Diamondbacks. But he leaves with a tying run at the plate and nobody out. Back after this. You won't find anywhere else. You'll get post-game analysis and reaction from the clubhouse with Jack Magruder, or on Pat Murphy's move to the big leagues, the former ASU skipper. And a minor league report on a couple of guys you really want to pay attention to in the lower levels of the Diamondback system. They're down there at Kane County, and boy, they're really putting up some good numbers. So check that out, FoxSportsArizona.com. Maybe De La Rosa got a couple of ground balls to open up the 8th, but an error by Ahmed and by Lamb have put 2 on, nobody out. And in from the bullpen is Daniel Hudson. Got Upton at third and Kemp at first.
Well, this is something Diamondbacks pitchers have not had to do very often this year. Pitch around some errors. They've had only 18 runners reach on error all season. That's the 3rd fewest in the National League. But the last 2 guys to reach, both on error.
Derek Norris 0 for 3. We saw him as we went to break there, going over the report with hitting coach Mark Kotze in the Padre dugout on Daniel Hudson. And I'm sure he was briefed on the velocity. Huddy's been throwing mid to upper 90s, and he threw him a nice little slow one in there to start him off. Norris had a home run yesterday in their win at Oakland. He leads all National League catchers in RBIs. Out well. Upton stays put. They eliminate Kemp at second. Norris aboard at first.
Center fielder Will Venable.
Upton started down the third baseline, but realized he was going to run into an out at home plate, so he turned around and dove back into the bag at third, which allowed Jake Lamb the opportunity to at least try to turn that double play up the middle of the field. They were able to get the lead man.
The Padres still now with a tying run at the plate. One away for Will Venable, who singled in the second. He's 1 for 3. He's been a tough guy for the Diamondbacks to get out this year. And Venable has had a resurgent bat here. He's played a lot more. Since May the 8th, in fact, he's hit over 290 with 3 home runs. Castillo bluffs the throw to first. Norris is back in time, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Hitting almost 360 this year with runners in scoring position. (3-0). Corey Spangenberg is the on-deck hitter. That's in there for a strike. All 4 of the bases are loaded.
Second baseman.
Bullpen is quiet for the Diamondbacks. Daniel Hudson has pitched in this role lately. With a lot of confidence then out there. 1 out, the base is full for Spangenberg. Corey Spangenberg single in the second. Walked his last time up. He's 1 for 2. Oh for 3, couple of strikeouts career against Hudson. That's in the seats. Ruby De La Rosa. Boy, he pitched a beauty. A couple of throwing errors by the D-backs infield and a walk by Hudson made this inning pretty interesting. You've got Upton, the runner, at third. Norris is at second. He's the catcher. And Venable at first. 0-1 to Spangenberg. There is a lot of swing and miss in this bat. He strikes out a fair amount. One pitch. Well, Huddy so far 10 pitches, only 4 of them strikes. And now Brad Ziegler will start throwing in the Diamondback bullpen. Two and two.
Ziegler warming up in the pen. Possibility that he might come in and get more than one inning today. If you're going to do that, you're probably going to have to make a double switch when you bring him into the ball game. The pitcher spot due up fourth in the next half inning for the Diamondbacks.
The lefty Amarista on deck. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fly ball left field. Peralta backing up. Upton at third will tag, and he will come in for 2 ball game. RBI for Spangenberg. Amarista has been recalled now, and Brett Wallace is going to hit for the Padres shortstop. Here's Mike Harkey. Brett Wallace, this will be his first at bat in the major league since September 29th, 2013. Wallace did not play in the majors last year. Just called up from AAA El Paso today. And this is his first at bat as a Padre. Wallace does have some pop in that bat. You got to be careful. Just over 60 games at AAA in the San Diego system this year. Hit .305 with 8 homers. Norris is the runner at second, and Venable at first. 2 outs.
Well, for Pat Murphy, this is a move that had to be handled just so. I mean, Alexi Amarista is not a guy that normally gets pinch hit for, even though he's struggling this year. Brett Wallace just called up, a former player for Pat Murphy at Arizona State. Got to handle this one with kid gloves.
Trying to take the lead with 1 swing here.
I think that's what he's trying to do.
We've got the pitcher spot due up next, and Will Middlebrooks is in the on-deck circle.
It's funny how the guy that's being pinch hit for doesn't always get the strategy.
They don't agree sometimes. Well, Huddy has been behind in the count all night. 2-0 now. Wallace 4 years with the Astros. 2 years ago had a career high 13 homers. 96. 2-1. Right by him. 2-2. Starting to heat up out there. From Daniel Hudson. We saw Ruby hit 99 earlier tonight. Now Huddy's up there. Living in the stratosphere here. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. A roller to second. Daniel Hudson puts out the fire for 2 D-backs as we go to the home half of the game to Chase Field.
alongside Brandon Webb. And Brandon, let's just get right to instant analysis. Yeah. Hudson and Wallace, what did you think of that matchup?
Power on power. Huddy was struggling with his fastball command a little bit. Reached back, gave it all he had, 96, 97, 99. And Wallace unleashed a couple swings and got him a rollover on the changeup.
Yeah, and that will end that inning. Of course, it did. We'll talk about that and a lot of pitching to get to, we hope, in a little bit. Diamondbacks Live, the post-game show. Brandon Webb and his instant analysis just for you. Steve and Bob, back to you.
I like that. Some personalized analysis from you guys on Diamondback Live post-game show. Here he is, up and down from the minor leagues this year. His third stint with the Padres. It's the right-hander Nick Vincent. Just his 11th appearance, in ERA right at 4.5. Will Middlebrooks, who was on deck when Wallace grounded out, will replace Almariste at shortstop. Aaron Hill leads off the Diamondback 8th. Hill, Castillo, Ahmed 6, 7, and 8. Aaron's had a good night. He walked in the first. Had an RBI double and scored a run in the third. He's 1 for 2. Great job there by Daniel Hudson, who did not have that pinpoint sharp command we've seen, but he certainly had the velocity going as he hit 99 on the radar gun. And Dave McKay has forgotten his helmet. That's a big time fine.
Kangaroo court, they're going to get him.
Oh boy, I'd lawyer up.
You know, the thing about kangaroo court is if you hire a lawyer,
they frown on that.
The lawyer usually throws you right under the bus anyway. So then you have to pay your lawyer and you have to pay your fine.
And coincidentally, I believe Aaron Hill runs the kangaroo court. He's up at bat.
He probably didn't notice.
Archie apparently is deep in debt. He's been getting hammered by the court all year. It's all the selfies. Every time Archie tweets out a selfie, big time fine. I'm told, oddly enough, Oscar Hernandez is second on the kangaroo court.
Really? That's surprising.
Our Rule 5 catcher. Oscar just joined the Kane County Cougars in A-ball, so he's begun his rehab assignment. So this guy's been ponying up the dough.
As it should be.
1 and 2. I guess as a rookie, you really don't stand a chance in there. Did you have a major kangaroo court violation that you regret?
No, not really. I mean, just typical stuff. You know, late warming up a pitcher between innings, you know, when I was the backup catcher, or if a guy wanted to get up in the bullpen and throw a side session and I wasn't there immediately.
Aaron Hill drives that one to center. It backs up Venable, but he's got one.
However, later in my career, I did work myself into a position where I was one of 5 judges.
That's real power.
Oh, that is big time power on a baseball team.
Were you a hardliner?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Justice is not the goal. Collecting a lot of money is the goal.
You're out of order. Gracie running through the hitters as Wellington Castillo steps up. He had an RBI double and scored a run in the third. Gracie, I'm told, is the fantasy camp kangaroo court judge, and he is ruthless.
Once again, the goal is not justice, it's collecting money.
And Doc goes to fantasy camp every year. That's one of his highlights. Castillo, almost the same spot. And Venable's there again. Gracie, really, I mean, he leaves there with just a whole bag of cash from those poor campers.
And I'm not sure exactly how the Diamondbacks handle all the money they collect over the course of a year's kangaroo courts, but we used to donate a large chunk of it to, you know, Diamondbacks charities, Giants charities, whatever the team happens to be. But then you always save a little bit to begin a season-ending party for the team.
An event not to be missed, I'm sure.
Oh, man. I mean, you paid for it. You might as well come.
Nick Ahmed, an RBI single in the third. He's 1 for 3. Ever run into a guy that really didn't quite get the spirit of the whole thing and didn't want to pony up?
Oh, yeah. We had a coach one time that refused to participate.
Nick Ahmed drives it out to right, drops it in front of Kemp. Nick Ahmed 2 for 4. Nick had 2 hits yesterday against the Angels.
He was a hardline old school coach that just didn't see the value of the camaraderie and getting to know your teammates and whose buttons you can push. He thought we should have all been out taking extra hitting or running laps in the outfield or something. He refused to participate in the kangaroo court, which of course caused him to be fined for every kangaroo court he missed.
Chris Owings will hit for the pitcher Daniel Hudson. Brad Ziegler ready down there in the Sanderson Ford bullpen. So Brad get his 9th save of the year on Wednesday against the Angels here. And CO trying to find it right now. 234 for the year. 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts yesterday. That snapped a 4-game hitting streak. Ahmed bluffs and holds at first. That's fouled back, and it's 0-2. Brad Ziegler. That's what he'll be looking at in the 9th. After the double switch, it'll be Middlebrooks to lead it off, then Solarte and Yonder Alonso. Behind them, Upton and Kemp. And Hervey Solarte at third. He's got his own face on the sweatband. It's big time.
We used to just put our numbers on things so we'd get them back from the laundry, but I guess if your face is on it
and your signature,
it'll find its way back to your locker. I have to admit, I have some of those at home in the garage, but it was such a poor likeness, I could never bring myself to wear them.
There goes Ahmed. Owings strikes out, and that ends the inning. So we'll go to the 9th. Brad Ziegler coming in with a 4-2 lead. This game against the Angels, going for double digits tonight. He'll face Middlebrooks, Solarte, and Alonso, 9-1-2 in the San Diego 9th. The highlights of tonight's game, defensively certainly for the Diamondbacks, the running grab by Yasmani Tomas out there in right field just before he had to leave the game after a left elbow contusion. He was hit on the elbow. The x-rays are negative. He's fine, we're told. But look at the ground he covered out there, Bob Brenly.
Wow, that's some high-tech stuff. Did we borrow that from the Weather Channel?
Jim Cantori made a few calls and got us that.
Nice play. Boy, from the tight angle, you could really see Tomas tracking that ball all the way into the glove. Never took his eye off the ball.
And you can see right here, this is the 500th career appearance for Brad Ziegler. And his .250 career ERA would rank him 8th all time. That's in the history of baseball among pitchers with at least 500 appearances. Only one on Middlebrooks. Christy Mathewson, Walter Johnson, Mariano Rivera, Billy Wagner, Jonathan Papelbon, Eddie Plank, Eddie Seacott from the Black Sox, and Brad Ziegler.
How about that? Pretty illustrious list right there.
A .250 career ERA with at least 500 lifetime appearances. And Doc Rosenblatt redeeming himself nicely there. 1 and 2.
Attaboy, Doc.
His D-backs fantasy camp techniques, instincts kicking in. Popped him up. Very shallow center. Hill's back there. Ahmed as well. It'll be Nick. 1 away.
Third baseman, Yankees Solarte.
Yankees Solarte. Solarte singled in the 5th. He's 1 for 4. That's in the seats. Brad Ziegler, 500 career appearances, no starts, and an ERA of .250.
And even with 500 appearances under his belt, Brad Ziegler's still developing. Yeah, he started to work on that changeup last year. He thought he needed an off-speed pitch for lefties, something that was moving away from them. Really worked hard the second half of the season last year to refine that pitch, and now this year it's one of his 3 weapons out there on the mound. He'll use it regularly.
He strikes out Solarte, 2 down. He felt he was getting a little too predictable for the hitters and needed a third pitch to give them a different look, and it's really worked out.
There's one right there. Changeup started on the outside corner, just fades low and away, off speed. That's Solarte way out in front.
So with 2 down, Yonder Alonso, last man standing. He has singled and walked, 1 for 3. The shift is on. Diamondbacks, if they can hang on and win this one, will get to 33 and 34. And tomorrow we will make another assault, Bob Brenly, on Mount 500. It'll be the 9th time we've tried to take that Hillary step. Robbie Ray will be on the mound for the Diamondbacks. Tyson Ross for the Padres. Diamondback Live pregame show at 6:30. It's a little later start tomorrow night. 7:10 first pitch as we try to put that D-back flag on top of Mount 500. 2-1. Diamondbacks have had 8 tries to get back to 500 this year, and 8 times they have lost. Upton would be next. That's in there for a strike, 2-2. Alonso didn't like it with James Hoy. Good crowd here tonight, better than 27,000 D-backs fans in the house. And one Yankee fan. There he is. Our thanks again to Jim Cantore. In fact, Jim told us during the game he used to be a big Braves fan. He's a Yankee fan first and foremost, but the Braves were his National League team. He says, after tonight, no more. I'm a D-backs fan.
Changing the world one fan at a time.
2-2. Full count. You want to be careful here because if they lose Alonso, you bring Upton up to the plate as the tying run. Ball 4. Fifth walk issued by Diamondbacks pitchers tonight. And here comes Upton. Upton walked in the 5th, reached on an error and scored his last time up. He is 0 for 3. Took a bases loaded walk to drive in the first Padre run. And this year against the Diamondbacks has been a problem. Tying run at the plate, 2 outs. Ball 1. Upton hit over 340 last month. Had 6 homers in April, 6 more in May, but he has slumped here in June, batting barely 170 this month with 1 home run. Ziegler not sharp here. He's behind 2-0. Oldie playing behind the runner at first, well off the line. 2-0 is down the right field line, and that drops in a fair ball. Alonso will stop at third, and Upton's in there with a double. Tying runs now in scoring position with 2 down for Matt Kemp.
Right fielder, Matt Kemp.
Damage control. Sometimes it doesn't mean you get the guy out. It means you keep him in the ballpark. Double down that right field line. Upton jammed badly. Just muscled it out there into the right field corner. But it puts 2 Padres in scoring position for Matt Kemp, who has really struggled against Brad Ziegler in his career.
Kemp tonight has struck out 3 times and reached on a throwing error. He is 0 for 4. Tying runs in scoring position, 2 down. There's the strike, 0-1. Kemp homered yesterday in their win at Oakland. 3 homers in his last 12 games. Right back to the mound, and Brad has got it. And the Diamondbacks win the opener this 3-game set 4-2, and they're back within 1 of 500. Another terrific outing by Ruby De La Rosa. Daniel Hudson got some big outs, and Ziegler closes for his 10th save.
A clean ball game all the way around. A couple of errors which we're not used to seeing from a couple of guys that are very sure-handed and very accurate throwers. But in the big picture, I like the fact you gain a full game on the Padres. The teams were battling for 3rd and 4th place in the National League West, and try to put more ground between yourselves and the team you're playing.
So it's a 4-2 final. No home runs hit in the game, but we continue our home run challenge through Sunday. Every Diamondbacks home run raises $12,500 for prostate cancer research, and we urge you to make a pledge right now. You can go online to homerunchallenge.org. Right now, let's start Diamondbacks Live postgame show. Brandon Webb is with Todd Walsh. Todd.
Steve, thank you very much. Steve with you and Bob Brennan. Great job on the call of the game tonight. We have lots to get to, though, as the postgame show starts in a matter of moments. But, Brandon, I think we have to focus in on pitching again. It's back-to-back games for us. But a couple of things that you saw tonight. One regarding James Shields and also Ruby De La Rosa and how he managed his issues, right?
Yeah, the game plan from James Shields, never seen one from him like that. He totally threw a curveball on me on that, literally. And then Ruby De La Rosa just getting it done, had great stuff, got into a couple jams, but was able to find his way out of there with just a little bit of run.
All right, that's just a taste of what's coming up in a matter of moments here from Chase Field on this Friday night as the Arizona Diamondbacks take game 1 of this 3-game series with the San Diego Padres. Little Bob Brenly just said, put themselves with a little distance, a little padding between Arizona and San Diego in the National League West. We'll come back. Jody Jackson is standing by at field level. She'll check in, I believe, with Brad Ziegler, Bob Brenly, player reaction, and more in a bit.